So there we go. So I things happened. Listen, sometimes you just forget to turn on the waiting screen, so everyone's just sitting here staring at your faces that are just looking into the void, right? It happens to the best of us, and tonight it happened to me. Listen, we can't all be perfect. At your faces that are just looking into the. Oh my god! I'm trying to add the channel point stuff as I'm doing this, and it's not going too hot because things keep blasting in my ear as I'm doing this. New crown! We got a new crown tonight. That is Xerox crown right on top of not on top of his head, at the corner of his little cam picture. So our lovely contestants this season are going to be fighting for the permanence that is Xerox crown that will follow them to the rest of the seasons until I decide I can't host this anymore, which who knows when that will be. So whenever Icicles is on, you'll need to my audio mix down a little bit. I want to be screaming in your ear. I want you to be able to hear me on the other side of your house. I turned myself down. You're welcome. All right. If I need to be turned up a little bit, let me know. Ron Mexico host 2022. I don't think Ron is going to be hosting 2 nights in a row, but who knows? We might see it. Maybe we'll be Steffi hosts around the Saloon. Anything can happen, right? All right, we have 4 guests tonight. We have a returning champion. I never thought those words would ever come out of my mouth. Donde, how's it feel to be a winner for once?
I'm unmuted. I saw that. It
yeah,
feels
good
good.
Job.
I too did not expect myself to win. It's just, a testament to prep and dedication, and occasionally not pissing you off.
Occasionally not pissing me off. That's all you need to do. All right, there we go. Channel points are live. I was trying to multitask, so they should be up now. Apologies if you're just itching to spend all your hard-earned THL points. We have our returning, only on the show once last season, kind of our filler character, our filler arc character so far, Dr. Fish. How's the hospital?
Everything's going good, man.
Yeah?
I'm excited. I'm excited to be on.
We're excited for you to be on. Corridon's name is in the middle. You can tell, am in the thick of it right now. Nothing's working. Nothing's in the right spot. I'm surprised I'm here. Corridon! Welcome back, my guy.
Thanks, man. So happy to be back. I'm looking for my first victory. Icicles is not here, so I have a chance.
You have a chance. I mean, look at your competition. Donde, typically a loser, right? Fish,
Right.
never won, only been on
No.
once. Steffi is your real rival here. She's actually won before, right?
And there's no
Donde's was a
battleground
fluke.
questions,
And
so-
there are no battleground questions. I said it before, though. No battleground questions is a win for everybody. I turned my... You know what, man? Dranium, I turned my voice down even more. I'm rocking a new mic. I used it last time, but I don't know. I must have changed some settings or something. I'm also talking louder than I usually do, and that's because my roommate's not here, and she's usually here, and I don't talk as loud. But now that she's not, I'm screaming, just like I do in the classroom. So, Steffi! The one, the only. There you are. Sorry. Trying to find the unmute button.
Happy to be here. Guess what? I play
Chicken
standard
butt.
now. So guess what? I'm going to take that crown, Donde.
She's coming for the crown.
I know answers.
She knows shit. Watch out, everybody. All right. Yeah, I'm going to move my mic away. There we go. So, we have 9 questions for you tonight. You got a little bit of a preview if you pay attention to my my messages in the content announcements. I move away from the mic to breathe. I don't remember what that's in reference to, but sure.
Chocolate rain.
Talk.
Ah, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
We have 3 mulligan, 3 face of trade, and 3 dual questions for you tonight. We're going to try something new. I told them pre-show we're going to be doing points a little differently than we have been. We're going to test out something a little different. I'm going to be a little more liberal with the point givage tonight, and they're also going to be a little more concise with their arguments. So no more points for just talking to the moon. I'm going to actually utilize that mute button. So the mute hammer is coming down. I don't know if you could hear that, but I actually hit my desk. So let's start up in the top left with the lovely as ever Mr. Ware. And we're going to make our way clockwise. We're going to start off with 3 Hearthstone questions for you. Some standard questions right out the gate before we get to our THL stuff. And the first one is about Paladin. So, Donde. There we go. Donde. Paladin. 4 drops. Which is better? Kazakis or Cariel Rome? What are we running?
So I think it depends on what your plan is for the deck. If you want the deck to go late game, you want Kazakis. If you want to smork your opponent's face, you want Cariel. Because Cariel allows you to also run Blessing of Kings. And Blessing of Kings plus Crab Rider equals dead other person.
Dead other person is exactly what you want to see. Apologies for not touching your points yet. That's not a spite against you.
I was told not to waffle, and I'm going to pick it's Cariel because that deck is the better deck.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yes, sorry, I was changing it from introduction to mulligan. Dr. Fish, Kazakis or Cariel?
I like making golems. I really like Kazakis. I know Donde is absolutely right on the difference of how you want to build your deck, but I will take a stance and I will say Kazakis. It's really good because Paladin has a hard time with Priest, and Kazakis can definitely help with that, getting some nice golems for you to play with.
Ooh, I do like playing with golems, and I do like killing priests. Corden.
It's Cariel Rome for a few reasons. Blessings of Wisdom, Blessing of Authority, everything that goes face. With so much little removal in the meta right now, big minions stick around, and they typically hit face. Not only that, statistics on it, Cariel Rome, Diamond through Legend, she has a 57.9 mulligan win rate. With Kazakis, pulling it up here, he's sitting at a 55.4. So right there, statistics, it's Cariel Rome. Plus, she's named after a THL team. So
She is named after a THL team, and stats don't lie. We learned that from the man Arhat himself. Steffi.
So I'm a big fan of Kazakis. I like the golem, so I'm actually going to go with that. I've noticed since I play ladder now, again, when I'm playing, I have to play against a lot of Warlock that's controlly and annoying and gets on my nerves, is constantly healing, and then I die. And so I feel with the increase of these styles of decks that we are seeing, we also mentioned Priest earlier, Kazakis is just getting it done. You obviously have a lot of versatile with it, which is why I really like the card. I like having options. I want choices depending on what position of the game I'm in. So if I'm already ahead, it's easy to take the 1-drop or 5-drop. Or if it's something I know I'm going to need resources later, I'm going to take the 10-drop or also the 5-drop, just depending. So I'm going to go with Kazakis.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we like playing the control decks. We don't like playing against the control decks, right? Let's keep talking standard. Let's keep the standard train going. And actually, hell of a transition, because we're going to talk about control decks. Look at that. Same wavelengths. This is how we do it on Saloon. This is that Monday night vibe. We're going to talk control decks and the fact that they're missing. Well, for the most part, they're missing, except for, maybe your Warlock and your Priest, but those aren't even doing too hot. So let's go in reverse order and go Steffi, Corden, Fish, and Donde. Steffi, what's it gonna take for us to see control decks return to their prominence of old?
All right.
What do we need?
That's a great question.
Thank you. I wrote it.
Because we're seeing a lot of Paladin we're seeing a lot of hunter
Mm-hmm.
that are just smork, 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 smork. Also, I feel like Rush Warrior has been pretty prominent as well. I'm seeing a lot, but I feel like that's one of those decks that's more versatile. You can kind of cater to the meta, while most of the Paladin decks and most of the Hunter decks have one goal in mind, and that is to crush your face. So obviously, I think it comes down to just changing the meta, which comes down to like nerfs, things like that. Oh my god, where do we start? What do we change? What are we nerfing? What are we doing? I feel like Paladin seems more, to me, in my opinion, the bigger problem than the Hunter itself. Hunter, I feel like, can run out of stamina, while Paladin, like especially Libram Paladin, you can just continue to refresh your resources and then you're just kind of done so. So I think there needs to be a nerf in there somewhere. Do I have an answer for what's being nerfed? No. But I do think, obviously, we just need a meta change. We need to change. We need to nerf something. Something needs to go. Bye-bye. Penslinger nerf wasn't enough. Still playing my Paladin.
Something go bye-bye. That's exactly what I want to see happen here. Corden, you're on the clock.
I mean, you need a slower meta, right? That's kind of the whole thing. You can't have aggro decks. You can't have Hunter. You can't have Shaman going face. Even Rush Warrior at some points putting bigger stuff. Getting rid of Mass Dispel from Priest, things like that was extremely hard because now you just can't deal with things. There's really no, like I said earlier, there's no more hard removal really outside of things like Warlock. Warlock is the best control deck right now, I think, because it has all of the hard control tools. It's got Siphon Souls. It's got the new legendary that gives you 0 mana shadow spells. It's got everyone's confident Ticketus. Oh my god, which is not broken, by the way. But if it was a control meta, Ticketus would probably be extremely broken, but it's not. Anyway, I think it needs to slow down. I think it's just, there's too much to do right now. Mage is too prominent. Paladin's too prominent. There's just too much to do with smorking and with tempo. It's just, you got to bring hard removal back or some more disruption.
All right. Fish.
So what's it going to take to go back to a control meta? It's probably going to take some tools from the mini set. Or if not the mini set, obviously the next expansion. Obviously doing a balance change could help. Again, like Steffi said, not 100% sure what they would do. I personally think something like First Day of School is really annoying to play at for 0 mana with the 1 mana drop, with the 1 mana pool that we have. But otherwise, yeah, I think it's going to come down to getting some removal tools. Tamsin Roam is great, like Corden mentioned in Warlock, but in all their great tools. But other than that, there's just, lack of AoE removal spells to deal with some stuff.
Lack of AoE removal. All right, Donde.
Just to address, I don't think a nerf is coming for the mini set. It's the meta is actually pretty good right now, all things considered. I mean, it's way better than it was a few weeks ago. That's for sure. So I don't think that even though control decks don't really exist in this meta, I don't think it's like an unhealthy meta. That being said, Priest is definitely the best control deck at the moment. I know you guys talk about Warlock, and I think it's like borderline. I thought it was going to be a lot better than this, but it's really not that great against everything that's good in the meta right now. But Priest is where it's at if you want to control Warrior. Missing tools, like it lost so many tools to do what it needs to do to go long. So I know Control Warrior is like the classic control deck alongside Priest. It's not there right now. So I think it's less about the aggro and more about the sustainability of decks like Rush Warrior. It's just wave after wave conditioning, Overlord Runthak. Like there's just so many things that you can remove wave 1. You may be able to remove wave 2, but then 3 and 4 come. And the same thing happens with Paladin too. It's just tough right now. Yeah, we need a slower meta if we're going to see control decks flourish again.
Alrighty. To address Kel in the chat, Priest is still not doing so hot. I know you love it. I know you do, BB, but it is still sitting at like a mid 40% win rate. Anyways, moving on to Mage. Mage just got hit with the Deck of Lunacy nerf. It got hit with the nerf a couple of weeks ago, but we did not have a show last week. So let's talk a little bit about it now that the nerf has set in and people have been able to play with the class, with the 4 mana Deck of Lunacy, or as we are about to talk about, without the 4-mana deck of Lunacy. Let's start with the fish. Did the deck of Lunacy nerf really hurt Mage? Or is it doing just fine? Did it, I mean, what do you think? Tell me.
I think it reeled the deck in. I don't think it made the deck... I mean, I still love playing Spell Mage. I think it's still a fantastic deck. It's just not hitting the outliers that you get of non-games from having Deck of Lunacy at 2 mana. And some people still run it at 4 mana, and that's fine for them. I mean, I'm not so big of a fan of it at 4 mana running it in a deck, but if you want to have some fun with it, it's still there. But generally, in like a competitive format, this nerf was amazing because the deck is still playable.
Okay. Let's go, Steffi.
Oh my gosh, I love this deck still. I think it is still very strong and very good. Obviously, it's weak to the heavy hitters that are dominating the meta right now, which is Paladin and Hunter, but it actually does pretty well against Warrior and other things like that. I mean, Refreshing Spring Water still exists. So it's like, I'm just going to draw some cards for free, no big deal. They're probably cheaper in my deck because I drew that 2-mana card and made everything cheap because I know how to mulligan. I don't know, I think it's very fun and versatile. I do think you can still run the now 4-mana card. I do think I have 2 versions of it, one where I run it, one where I don't. When I'm feeling spicy, you run it because you don't know what you're going to get. But I think it's still a great deck. I think you can still play it. I do agree with what Fish said, that it's more balanced. It's like nerfed, but playable still. It's just not as dominating.
Sure. The now 4-mana card, are you talking about the one that's in the title of the question? Okay, yes. Wasn't sure if that's the one, if you're thinking of Spring Water. Alrighty. Donde.
So you want hot takes? Here's a hot take. The
Hit
nerf
me.
helped Mage. It helped it.
Ooh, that's spicy. Ooh,
It helped it
I gotta take off my shirt. Go
Deck
on.
of Lunacy, as good as it was a lot of time needless in the deck. I mean, a lot of time you were the burn. You just played a burn strategy. You got Cthulhu, or Mask of Cthulhu, I should say. Fireballs, and you just tried to go over the top. You just tried to get that damage to face. And a lot of the time, you did things like hold your Incanter's Flow to get to Deck of Lunacy to get the Grand Slams cheaper, but then you only got Survival of the Fittest and you just lost anyway. Now you say, whatever, I'm just playing my Incanter's Flow right out of the gate, my 80% win rate card or something stupid like that, and then I'm going to make my burn cheap and I'm going to whack you in the face and win this game, and it really has not hurt Mage at all. Is Mage still like an elite deck in Conquest and LHS formats? Probably not like in that top 3, but it's definitely viable.
All right, Corden.
Yeah, I actually think it helped it too, 100%. I think the generation that Mage has to find extra burn as well, you can fireball someone 3 times in a turn, and it just doesn't matter. Mask of Cthulhu on a clear board, which you see so often, is literally just a Pyroblast for 5-6 mana half the time. Not only that, it's just the aggro decks aren't really, I mean, Face Hunter is great and everything, but Mage still has things like Devolving Missiles and Brain Freeze as defensive tools, Combustion as well. So not getting rid of those defensive tools in those matchups and allowing yourself to use them, use things like Primordial Studies to find your low costs and like your free lab partners to then, draw through your entire deck. I was playing against Rebob in Hero last week. Turn 4, he drew 12 cards. I'm not even kidding you. You can ask him. He drew 12 cards in one turn. So, yeah, trust me, it helped the deck.
All right.
I can confirm that.
Like, turn 4, 12 cards.
It was nuts.
Holy cow. Alrighty. That is the end of our mulligan phase. We have selected our cards, thrown back the ones we don't want. We kept our Deck of Lunacy, right, Donde?
Pre-nerf, yeah.
Pre-nerf, yeah, of course. And we're going to move on to the face or trade round. So in the face trade round, the contestants will have 2 choices. They can either go face or they can trade. If they go face, that means they are agreeing with the statement that I presented to them on the screen. If they are trading, then they are disagreeing with that statement. Not giving me a face or trade answer is going to result in -1 points because consistency is key in life. Alrighty. Who hasn't gone first yet? Corden hasn't gone first yet, right? Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Corden, starting us off. Face or trade, we're going to talk some DH, some Demon Hunter. The thing that I keep bringing in THL and keep losing with. So, I want you to help me out here on a personal level. Face or trade, Demon Hunter is a bait.
Yeah, that's face.
It's just-
It is. It
Thank
is
you.
because there's even though there's so many different ways you can play Demon Hunter, unless you're Tice and you're playing at a high range, the OTK Demon Hunter, just don't play it. Nobody is as good as Tice is with that deck, and everyone watches him play it and thinks that they can be as amazing as it. Draco Cat, who's probably the most well-known Demon Hunter player, doesn't play the OTK version because it's just boring. It's not fun, and he still does extremely well with Demon Hunter. That's because he literally really only plays Demon Hunter. I don't think Soul is as good as it used to be, just because there's really no minion interaction right now, especially with how large minions can get. No minion mage. It's just Soul and things like that just don't matter, and you just can't smork fast enough with Soul anymore. Yes, Illidari Inquisitor is a great card. It's an amazing finisher if you can philosophy it and do some crazy stuff like that, but really, at the end of the day, if you're philosophying your Inquisitor, you're probably far enough ahead that you're winning the game anyway, and there was something else that got you there. I think Demon Hunter is a very big bait. I think a lot of people actually loved the mid-range when the watch posts were around, and then Blizzard killed watch posts, and now Demon Hunter really doesn't have an identity anymore. And for a class that just came out with the one-mana hero power, it's really upsetting to see because last season Demon Hunter was such a strong bring with Soul and with aggro, so I think it's a huge bait. I don't think people can play the OTK version, which is really the only viable one right now.
Alrighty. Steffi, what are your thoughts?
Face.
Face?
No, I think people that play Demon are still living in the past, and they need to let it go. That was before I was playing. So okay. If I'm being realistic, looking at the deck, it's the viable decks that you see on standard, in ladder. It's just not slow and it's not fast. It's that mid-range kind of awkwardness, and mid-range just isn't good right now. You can't play it. You're going to get outsmorked really fast. You're going to get outvalued by mage, or you're going to play against a priest player or a warlock player who's really trying to bring control back. I feel that energy. And you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. It's just it doesn't make sense to bring to THL. I do think it's fun to play around with on ladder and finagle a little bit if you love that class, because it's still new and exciting, I guess. But no, hard no. Face.
Alrighty. Donde.
I agree that it is a face. I disagree that I'm sad about it, because Demon Hunter came out of the gate being a pain in the butt, and it needed to not be a pain in the butt for a while. So, yeah, it's a bait right now. And this is also a crime that Ron Mexico is not here on the show to defend DH, because we know he would to the death. OTK DH, he's not. Yeah, rip Ron. OTK DH seems consistent, but we were talking about before, control isn't really much of a thing. So the problem with it has always been if you can get in underneath it quick enough. Yeah, it's got removal tools, but you can still get there. So that's the problem for OTK right now. And yeah, mid-range, cool concept. Green Rag is awesome and needs to be a good thing going forward, because it's an awesome finisher. But right now it's just a little too much, just a touch too slow to be a prime deck in the meta, let alone a prime deck in Conquest or LHS at the moment.
Alrighty. I just realized that the way I photoshopped the editing on the crown kind of makes it look like a Dorito, and I don't know how to think about it. Fish!
Yeah, I have to go face with everybody else. I thought about going. I did think about trading, but it's a face. I think really Demon Hunter, and specifically the Lifesteal OTK variant, really sees high win rates at higher legend, but that's because a lot of people who are at that higher legend are seeing the decks that it might be able to actually do good against. So for instance, and it's just really only at maybe a 500 to 1,000, and it has over a 55% win rate. But again, they're seeing the same type of decks all the time, so they know they can play it. But otherwise, Soul DH and mid-range Demon Hunter are just in really awkward spots, losing cards like Twin Slice, losing Blade Dance, losing so many of the tools that they use to keep themselves generating like obviously Skull is great and it generates discounts, but it's kind of useless against Hunter. It's kind of useless against decks like Poison Rogue. Like even though that's not a super popular deck, like you can bring that to a competitive format just to go after decks like OTK Demon Hunter. So yeah, it's not great. And I'm not sad either.
Thish says, "Let it die." All right,
for a little bit.
Let's talk THL. We've made our way through standard. Wait. Oh, okay. Never mind. I was miscounting something. Before we make our way to the first THL question, Corridon, thank you for the sub. We appreciate it.
I just noticed it was up, so
that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Definitely not trying to sway in
Doing
any
my part.
Only one person has ever bought points on this show, and I think it was Brushy Tuna.
Aww.
And I think he's
And it didn't win. It didn't work.
And he didn't win. I think he's the only person I would ever allow to buy points. So let's talk THL. Let's talk Pro Series first. And specifically, let's talk one team that has been doing really well so far, putting up big numbers up front this season. And they play this week against another top team in their division. So what I want is to see if you all are on the hype train that I am on. Besides the Aeon hype train, Donde, Face or Trade, Sheepies will be in the Pro Series finals.
Whew, we'll make the finals. Okay, that was...
Hell yeah, we're going like... Dude, we're going...
Man,
go big or go
we're
home,
shipping
man.
it all the face, I guess. There's no... You covered up the rest of the screen and only are showing the face. But you know what, Mako? I'm with it. This
Okay.
team's making the finals. I'm going face.
To the moon.
Let's do it. Yeah,
All right.
to the moon. Really, the thing is, no one should be surprised. Like, if you look at this team, it's 80% of the same roster from last season. I think everybody but Y the Hunter has returned, and all 4 of those players that returned were above 500 last season. Above 500 in one of the historically most stacked series we've ever had. It's only getting harder, yes, but they're, again, doing very, very well out of the gate, and Y the Hunter, the new player, is 2-0. So they have what appears to be an upgrade there in terms of performance. This is a playoff caliber team at the very least, and to think to make the finals, I think it's a very realistic possibility. So let's go face with it and say Sheepies is not a team that anyone should sleep on at this point.
All right. Gordon.
I'm going to trade.
Ooh.
I'm going to trade because you said makes the finals, and man, that is a hard distinction to say right now. I can't say if any of these guys are going to make the finals. Obviously, 2 of them have to, but to make the finals is so difficult. Week 2 especially, it's such a difficult way to see if this is just a flash in the pan. Are they really, that top end high elite? You're about to see them go up against Popeye's Spicy Chicken Sandwich, so it's really going to show if they're a legitimate contender or not. This week, if you ask me this, 1 week from now, and they did, hold their own, then maybe I would say face. But for now, I got to say trade. Yes, they've all been above 500. Pro is the hardest, I think, just because of the skill level and things like that. They're doing great, but there is also other people on the other side of the conference, and guys like Hype Horizon. Tap Washers had a really strong season, their original season, and they have outgone a couple different changes as well. So I don't think you can count out some of those older teams that have been around who have made the changes and fit their way in. I got to trade on this one. That's a tough call, but there's too many good teams.
All right, Fish.
I'm gonna trade as well. And I love that that Sheepies is doing well so far, and I definitely think they are a playoff caliber team. And it kind of goes with the same reasoning that Corridon gave of it's a little early to obviously call for finals. Who can make finals? And Donde's right, they did upgrade their team. I just think there are that they still have to play some of the really, really strong teams in their conference yet. Like they've played no pros here, who is a strong team. But maybe in F12 Crimson, those teams aren't maybe what I would call quite on the level of a Clownstone or a Wash Tappers within the Pink Conference and Popeyes. So I think this week is going to be a real big measuring stick. I don't think they're going to necessarily fall apart this week, but I think that we're gonna get to see kind of where they lie early on. But there's a couple of teams I would put over them to make the finals right now.
Alrighty. And Steffi.
I'm gonna go face. They're gonna make it. Okay, because if you're making the argument that their current conference that they're in, they do have a lot of strong teams that they're playing against. One that they're playing against this week, right? Popeye's got 33 points. Chibi's got 41 points, though. They have the highest points out of everyone. But I digress. That their conference has weaker teams. I don't like calling it team weak, but you know what I mean. Like, looking on pen and paper, not doing as well, then that would make it even more likely that they would make it further into the season and make it to the finals. So I'm gonna give it to them. Yeah, they have 41 points. That's a lot. The other team that's closer to that has what, 37? I think it was 36 or 37.
39.
2 points.
39. Okay, so it's face.
2 points, but it looks like a much larger number because the first one's a 4 and the other one's a 3.
Yeah, that's all I need.
That's why they price things at like $3.99, right? Because you're more likely to buy it. Okay. We have one final question in the Face or Trade round, and after that, we're gonna cut 2 losers today. Before we move on to our final round, the duel rounds. Before we start this, Donde, since you are tied for last at the moment and you won last week, I will give you the choice. Would you rather go first or last?
Primero, senor.
Alrighty. So we're going to go Donde, then Dr. Fish, then Steffi, and then Corridon. So, final question. Final question is about one of the strangest cases that we've seen in THL as far as a player goes. So I'm just going to throw the statement up here for you, Donde. Face or trade, RoboCats is OP no matter where you put him.
Face. Face. I've gone face every time. Still going face. He's definitely more human and less of a bargain at the current PR, but that doesn't mean that's a bad thing. I mean, that just means that he's not a 50 PR player going ham in the 5 seed. He's still 2-0 in Legacy this season with a PAR of 7, 1-1 in Hero, which is, I know, again, human by his standards, but with a PAR of 3. So that's averaging 5 PAR per week, which would put him at 95 for the entire season if he kept that pace. For comparison, Neji won crossover with 79 PAR in 34 matches last season. So he would be averaging over just 2 PAR per match if he was Neji. He's averaging about 5 right now. So yeah, it's not sustainable, but to think he's going to drop off that far would be crazy. And the only thing that's going to limit him is the fact that he's only playing in 2 series and not 3 or 4. So RoboCats, face, yes, he's going to be OP no matter where he plays.
Fish.
Face. I got the pleasure of playing him twice last season in the 5 seed in Hero. And yes, one of them was 5 games, but he still beat me. And then the other one was a straight sweep where I had 0 chance. And he outplayed me completely. I think RoboCats, who came in, having not played so much Hearthstone and came in at a very low PR, having really gotten great at the game to the point where he's making high legend and getting 11 times multipliers. I mean, even in the one, you can compete in the 1 seed at that point. And we're seeing
he is.
He has defeated THL veterans like Ron Mexico in I believe he beat him in Legacy last week in week 1. Sorry, that's 2 weeks ago. And he looks like he's going to be leading Anoyo on a charge in Legacy this season. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. CMAC says RoboCats would suck in the 6th seed.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Steffi.
Oh, face. All right, I have story time, but a quick one because I'm not allowed to talk that long.
It's not that you're not. Okay, go on. You make me sound like a dictator.
Not a critique. It's not a critique.
Go on.
Don't be sensitive.
I am sensitive.
It's okay. If you Google somebody's name and multiple thing pops up positive about their play style, and then you're like, oh, I'm intrigued. Rookie of the season, MVP, tell me more. And then you further find out that the season that they got both of those titles was then they started playing Hearthstone. Are you kidding me? Do you know how hard all of us had to work to be okay? And then you have that child come out of nowhere and it's like, let me just hold my water and just be a prodigy. Yeah, put him anywhere. Put him anywhere, except against me. Don't put him against me, but he won't because I'm low. So put him anywhere. He's going to do fine. Face.
Oh my you.
Yeah.
Can you kick down to him for that?
I did. I did. I did. Gordon.
I don't know how I'm gonna follow that.
I
But,
don't either.
Well,
I have to say face, and I have to say face because the only type of person that would ask the board to give them a higher PR to make the THL a more fair experience with the person is definitely somebody we want in the community. And not only that, to still be thriving in that 1 seed. I mean, this is somebody who everyone was talking about 9-1 in the 5 seed. And then the big question mark this season was, is Anoya team going to suffer because this individual is playing in the 1 seed, facing off against massive opponents like Ron Mexico and Downtown? And we're at Hockey Boys this season. And Robocast has just shown that literally it does not matter where he's playing and where you're going to put him, he's going to succeed and he's going to strive. That competitive value to learn Hearthstone so quickly and become such a pro at it, like it's incredible to see that type of support that he's been getting. And I mean, he has Avi to learn from, which is crazy as well. So maybe better than Avi, who knows?
Ooh. Do we need an Avi versus RoboCat show match at some point?
So we're gonna have to do something because we get a lot of siblings in THL, right? We're gonna have to do something soon.
Who's
that's
our
gonna
other
have to-
siblings?
Yatcher and Wengor.
Oh, I didn't know they were siblings.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just
Yeah.
friends. Okay, that's
Oh,
two sisters.
they
Do
are
we have more?
bros. I think that's it actually.
Okay.
No, there's not that many. But
based
it's
in
interesting.
Four.
Oh yeah, based in Astral
based in Astral
Astropog.
siblings. There
Yep.
you go. Just
Yeah, I
a
forgot.
3v3 sibling battle royale.
You know what? One of them just needs the captain, and then
I'd
the other
pay-per-view it.
5 play. Right? And get a whole sibling team. All right. Well, congratulations to Corridon, and congratulations for Donde for putting himself over with his Yoo-hoo comment in chat. He was tied at 14 with Steffi, and he got the bonus point. She even said, give him a point. He made it to the finals with that.
I wish I was
Wow.
funny.
I really just want a Yoo-hoo.
So, Steffi, Dr. Fish, you will be back at the very end, but before I throw you on mute, is there anything you would like to say to the chat?
RoboCat's OP.
All right.
Thanks for your support, guys.
All right. Muted.
God.
All right.
He was saying something nice.
I know.
Damn.
I'm going to reset us back to 0. We have 3 dual questions. 2 of them are THL, the first 2 being THL. And then the last one is a return to our standard questions. Oh, shit. I dropped my highlighter. Corridon, you were in the lead, so I will let you go first, and I will let Donde follow. And then Donde, you will go first for question number 2, and then Corridon, I'll let you go first for question number 3. So question number 1 for our dual rounds, starting back at 0. We're going to talk wild. We don't talk wild all that too often, but we are going to talk wild right now. Corridon, we're going to talk a specific match. Nothing Can Stop Us versus F2L Viridian, 2 top teams in Wild at the moment. What are your thoughts on this?
This is going to. I'm not well versed in Wild. Basically, all of my experience is just from talking to Marty B in chats and things like that, and getting a chance to talk with 6J. All I do know is F2L Viridian is an extremely crazy strong Wild team. I think all of these players are high caliber in the Wild community. They brought in Get Meowth, who is a constant 2010, like not 2010, the year, like a 20 or a 10 high legend. I know Seth is extremely good on nothing can stop us. But outside of that, I'm not very well versed in it. So I know a lot of the names on Viridian. They have been playing extremely well. So I have to give the edge to them just because of just the namesake of them. But this could really go either way. Neji Boston in an 0-2. I mean, that guy's due for a win. He is too good not to be getting wins down right now. So I got to sway towards Viridian.
All right, Dunde.
So this is something I thought I would never ever say, but I'm giving the edge to Nofin. Nofin can stop us because of Neji being 0-2. And so here's my reasoning. So there are 9 renowned wild players in this match. It's basically everyone but Neji, who is just a sick Hearthstone player, which is great. However, the rest of the 9 have basically dedicated themselves to being super elite at Wild. You got Quake Lord, who was a top 8 player in THL last season. No Way, I believe, is brand new this season, but a very well-known player. Seth, again, did very well in the off-season Octathlon tournament. Glare, Yodaddy, these are all players that are very, very, very good at Wild. And then you've got Corbett and Get Me Out, who are phenomenal over on F2L side, along with Marty B and the Rod Zombie. But Marty B and Rod Zombie, and Neji for that matter, are kind of like spread themselves a little bit more thin. So I feel like that's going to be their weakness here. I give Corbett and Get Me Out the win in the top 2 for F2L, but I give the bottom 3 to Nofin Can Stop Us, and it'll be like a 13-11, a 14-12. It'll be a close one, but I'm going to go with Nofin.
Alrighty. We are going to transition into the Hero series. I kind of swerved our guests here a little bit because I told them before the show that I cut the legacy question, and then I got yelled at for cutting the legacy question. So I told them I was going to get rid of the hero one and add the legacy one on instead. And this is my version of saying, psych, don't yell at me. I'm in control. I'm the boss here. I do what I want. We're doing hero. You're going to suck it up. Donde, who are your early playoff favorites in Hero Series?
Whew. I mean, would it be too much of a homer to say wherever I may roam? It probably would be. Struggling out of the gate
because
at
we
0-2.
destroyed you in week 1. I don't think that's...
Yes, sir. It was not ideal. So I'm going to go with early favorites. F2L, always very, very strong team. NPH has just been dominating in every format. If we're talking Octathlon, they dominated that. And all their players, except for, I think, Carvalho and Quaz, participated in that. So they're going to continue to be very, very strong, I think, all season. So they would be like my top 2. Beyond that, Dad Legend is doing well with Icically struggling at 0-2. So they are only going to get better. So Corridon, shout out to you. You don't even have to, stand for your own team because I'm going to be there with you. I think you guys are going to be there at the end of the season, and then probably vote us some confidence. Jim Phillips needs to bring some of that 2-0 magic over to Legacy, but other than that, that whole team is very, very strong, and I think those would be your top 4 at the end of the season.
Alrighty, Corridon.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar with Donde. I think No Pros they're the only team that every single seed has gotten a win, and it goes to show. Literally every single team, somebody has lost at least 2 or just not gotten that first win, and it goes to show how strong No Pros here is going to have to change their name very soon to Pros here. But I don't think you can count out some of these lower teams right now, and one that I was looking at that I find that might find their stride is going to be Ask HS. Ask HS has a deadly 1-2 punch with Mr. Python and Neji Boston. Mr. Python was extremely good in Hero last year, and to have him in a 2 is just pretty much criminal. It's almost like RoboCats in a 5. But and Neji in a 1 is crazy. I think Kel and Doubles are gonna start pulling up their socks, and if that bottom 2 can start getting wins, I think Ask HS can really catapult their way up these standings. They're not out of it by any means, but I really do think that that's a team people need to watch out for because that 1-2 punch is just so strong.
All right. We have one final question. We are tied 4-4. Who is going to get take home the crown? Let's hope it's not Donde. We don't want to see him 3 weeks in a row.
I mean, you have the power.
I do have the power. You're correct.
I can just turn off my cam.
But I did just say like 15 minutes ago, consistency is the key to life. And I feel like that was also on stream. So I can't say I didn't say it. So I don't have the power. Corridon, let's talk standard and let's talk about the meta as a whole. So in our topics channel for Saloon, I titled this topic as, excuse me while I pull this back up. I titled this as matchup polarization, and the reason I titled that is because I feel like the current state of the meta has a lot of polarizing matchups in it. Oh, look at that. Is this a flash of a THL t-shirt? We'll talk about that afterwards. Stay tuned. So, Corridon, my question for you, thinking about these polarizing matchups and just the current state of the meta overall, is the current meta healthy?
Yeah, I think it is healthy. I think the changes that Blizzard had made with Mage and addressing some of the very guilty cards in Penflinger, and like Sword was broken, but Sword still does the same thing. It just does it for one durability less. And you've actually seen people move away from the Seeker package a little bit. Yes, they can still run it, but there is just an aggro list out there that is, being way more aggressive. With the polarizing matchups, it does well for LHS and for Conquest standing because there's always a deck that can beat something. But there's also decks that can always overcome those odds. Mage is, I'm always going to go back to it, is the deck that can just outperform no matter what this challenge is in front of it. It can beat a Paladin with its defensive tools and devolving missiles, and it can still burn it out. It can still beat a Hunter with the right draws. I don't think it's too unfavored and over polarizing. I think it can do just as well. The unfortunate part in every meta is there's always going to be decks and classes that suffer, and right now we are seeing it in Demon Hunter and Shaman, which Shaman for a quick little second there with the rotation of the core, and Galakron was a thing again. People were just pushing for free legend basically with it. But I really do think right now you can take any deck if it's Paladin and play it 2 or 3 different ways with Librams, with Secrets, or with just aggro. Mage is pretty standard. You could play the new spell damage one right now, but it's pretty much no minion. And it goes the same way. Warrior is pretty rush. Warrior, I will say, is pretty not fun right now. But other than that, I think Mage is decent into it. I think there are decent ways to deal with every single deck. I don't think any one deck is unbeatable, but then it's very complicated to say, I think one deck could beat everything in a very convoluted way.
Alrighty. Donde.
Yeah, I think the meta's healthy. And then again, anything is going to look healthy compared to what we were experiencing a few weeks ago. But it is in general just the sign of a healthy meta is unfortunately that Shaman is dead, because for some reason when Shaman is super good, the meta tends to be terrible. And even though it wasn't great in the previous meta, Shaman equals bad meta, but not all bad meta equals with Shaman. But yeah, polarization is definitely a thing right now. Unfortunately for LHS fans, it's more of a thing, I think, than in Conquest, because like Corridon was saying, Priest and Warrior have very, very strong matchups against certain spreads, and they tend to be a lot of the stuff that people bring. I think it's going to lead to a lot of sweeps in THL this season in LHS, as long as this goes on until we see that mini set. But Conquest, it's very, very healthy in comparison. And I think if you're looking at, since Conquest is the premier format, that's the format that Blizzard's trying to push. Obviously, I know GM is doing a little bit of everything right now, but like that's the World Championship format. That's where it's healthiest, and I think that they have done a good job balancing around that format. Ladder-wise, you see a lot of different decks on ladder right now. If you want to climb fast, maybe a Face Hunter, maybe a Poison Rogue, that's there. It's playable. It's not going to win every match because it shouldn't. But you can also play, a little bit heavier stuff, the Rush Warriors, the Control Priests. That's good too. So there's definitely stuff out there for everybody to play. I'm losing points and I don't know what's happening. So I guess I'll just
chat.
Oh no, PWE. Oh, everybody. Oh, you jerks. Okay. Well, in that case, I guess I will just use the remaining 10, 15 seconds I have to congratulate Corden on his win this week, and graciously offer up this crown.
Wow.
Yeah.
People have spoken. I see Isocles talking there. I think he led a riot against you.
Yeah, he was probably DMing people on the down low. Yeah.
Isocles man of the people rallying against the champ.
Wow. All right. I think Isocles, if I'm not mistaken, is the only person that has won back-to-back.
That was a coordinated attack, and I
think
appreciate it.
So it sounds like he just wants to keep that title, the only back-to-back champ. All right. So, Corden, congratulations. Donde was at 7 while he was talking, but 2 people decided, hey, let's just shoot him down while he's up.
Yeah.
Isocles Bride PWE. You have it right there in writing. Corden, this is your time to shine. Congratulations. Let me get this little crown over here on your head. The little Dorito crown for you.
Sweet chill heat, baby.
Sick. Yeah. You have about 30 or so seconds. Talk about whatever you would like. Everyone's on mute. The floor is yours.
Just thanks for coming out. Thanks for having everybody. We are winding down. I would honestly, you know what? I'm going to shout out Battlegrounds because that's what I do. I am in love with it. We just had a very hot race for playoffs. They're starting this week. First 2 teams are going to get a bye. We're going to see 4 teams go head to head. So tune in on Friday and Sunday. We've got Steffi will be on with Bob's Babes. You've also got Concede Your Match, Lemurs, Bob's Bounty Hunters, Phantom Force, and F2L Silver. Yeah. So it's going to be crazy. Battlegrounds has been super fun, and I'm glad that the beta is happening. Thanks to Based for doing everything that she does behind the scenes and keeping everything together, keeping all of the, all of us DMing her and saying, hey, these points aren't right. This person didn't tie with this person, and just all of our childish complaints. So hats off, and thank you so much for allowing Battlegrounds to be a thing. I've been thoroughly enjoying it.
Alrighty. Awesome. Well, hopefully Corridon will be back next week to try and retain his crown going into week 3, episode 3. Not week 3. We're in week 3, episode 3. Let me unmute the peanut gallery here. There they are. Welcome back to society.
You cut me off when I was saying something nice to chat.
I know.
I didn't forget.
Hashtag for the contents.
Yeah.
So a couple of things before I let them say last words. First off, reminder, you can sub to us. We appreciate it. All of the money goes back into THL. One of those things that it goes back into, hold up a minute. Let me get this announcement pulled up for you because it wasn't pinged at everybody, which I might just have to go back and ping at everybody on it. Starting, I think, next, don't they confirm, is it this Sunday or next Sunday?
I need to know what you're
Super
talking about.
Wicked Sundays.
It's this Sunday.
Oh yes, it's this Sunday.
one.
It's this Sunday.
So starting this Sunday, yep, there's dates on here. Starting May 2nd, this Sunday, and then every subsequent how do you say that?
Every second Sunday.
Yeah, but how do you pronounce the word I'm trying to say?
Subsequent.
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 Thank you. Every subsequent, fuck it. Every other Sunday, we're going to be having a different single tournament, so single-person tournament, not team-based tournament. They're going to be a different format every time, and the goal is to do tournaments that are not, akin to our other THL series. So we're not going to have a regular LHS subsequente. We're not going to have a regular LHS tournament or a regular Conquest tournament. So the first one this Sunday is a classic Conquest. So, classic rules, classic decks, classic cards. Following one on May 16th will be Wild LHS. May 30th, we're going to be doing Speedstone Conquest, so Nazstone. June 13th will be Strike, and then June 27th will be a community-voted format Haven't decided what those options will be yet, but we will send out a poll. So the money that you put into subs and the money that you put into buying merchandise from us. So the one of the ways we're able to do this is because of the money we got from the launch of our merch store. We're giving away packs to the winners of these tournaments. So if you want to play, they're free to enter. You can win some packs. They'll each be single elimination and best of 3. We're gonna run them through Battle Find. We're doing a max of 32 players for each tournament. They're first come, first serve. So, just in case you have not seen the announcements, I am just running through it again for you. But yes, if you would like to buy some merch from us as well, we have some pretty sick merch that I spent my spring break working on. It's actually linked on our Twitch. If you scroll down a little bit below so if you go to the video and you just go like a little bit below, it's just like right there, like right below, you'll see some preview thumbnails of some of our merch. So you can click through that. You can go to our merch store, which is also on our homepage at the far right top side. It says shop. Go look at some of our merch, and if you decide to buy some, awesome. We'll probably also run some promo codes again sometime when, just not my birthday again, because that way we have the whole year away from that. I don't know. We'll decide. Anyways, anything from any of you before we head out?
And Lucy says hello with a meow.
Okay. Lucy says hi.
I would like to, since I know that clearly Blizzard watches this show fervently, random character portrait option.
Yeah.
Please.
I tagged, I think Cerulean, or I don't remember, XR. I tagged somebody on Twitter about it, and they did not say anything back, and it hurt my feelings because they respond to everybody. Yeah. So I think
XR has never responded to me. So, but granted, I've only asked him to increase the friends list size.
I think they know that people want it, and they don't want to address it. So that means everybody we should send a Saloon army to go ping them about random hero portraits.
Are we all gonna get muted Zeddy style or
muted Zeddy style? I don't want to do anything Zeddy style, so no.
Oh man.
Anyways, anything else? No. All right, we'll be back.
Show the rest of the week.
Yep, we'll be back next week. We made it to 10 o'clock. Good job, guys.
Hey.
Yeah. This is the goal. Air high five. All right, we'll be back next week. See y'all in a week. Adios. Wave goodbye. Wave goodbye. Wave goodbye. Thank you. Bye.